Okay, Blender 5.0 came out and there's a ton of new features and updates, but today I want to focus on a select few and some important news about Blender as a whole. Alright, let's start with the update that impressed me the most. Adaptive subdivision is no longer an experimental feature. And if you don't know, adaptive subdivision is basically an option in Cycles that adjusts how much the subd modifier subdivides your mesh based on the camera's distance. Parts of an object that are closer to the camera get more geometry and more details, and parts that are further away get fewer subdivisions. Blender slices the mesh into patches, assigns different subdivision levels, and then stitches all those resolutions together so you don't even see any harsh seams from the camera's perspective. This is big because it was hidden in experimental mode for so long, and now it's a full-blown feature that will give better optimization option for those who didn't use it, and users who were relying on it will get more stability and better performance. On the topic of modifiers though, some modifiers are now built using Geonodes, notably the new array modifier. Now it has a bunch of cool new features like those UI elements to control it and more modes like this circular one, which I don't know how we're just getting this, but alright. And yes, it was possible to make this with this tool or a regular array with either a simple band or curve modifier, but this is destructive and or doesn't have as much features or isn't as easy to use as the new array, so I think it's a welcome addition. And yes, the old array is still there. If you need it for some reason, it's there under the name Legacy. Other modifier that uses Geonodes in the background is Scatter on Surface. It does exactly what the name suggests. It scatters objects across the surface of another object with parameters that you can tweak. Randomized size, rotation, density, all that. It's not as impressive as the new array, but it's pretty useful in some situations. And again, you could do this in the previous versions with particle systems, for example, but those are not the same. Try explaining to someone that to do this, you need to add a hair system to the object and then add the cube as a hair. That's just unintuitive, and now we have a better option. I generally think that we're moving towards the world where modifiers work the way that shaders do. For everyday use, you can just use the property menu, and that's it. It's easy and it works. But at the back end, it uses the same nodes that you see in this shader editor. So if you need, you can dive deeper and get more out of it. And as someone who didn't get into Geonodes, I am all for this change, because this is the same system that we're already using in Blender, nodes. They have inputs, parameters, and outputs. Simple, and it's already in the app. But the important part is that this doesn't break the existing workflows. Modifiers still behave like modifiers. You can add them, reorder them, mute them, whatever, exactly like before. The difference now is when you do need something more specific, the modifier isn't just a black box anymore. You can open it up, see the node network inside, and customize it or build on top of it. Those updates are by far my favorite, but there are some that I just have to mention, like the lens distortion node in the compositor now maintaining transparency, pretty cool, and the new sky texture, which is not just more realistic, it also looks absolutely amazing. And with all those updates, it really feels like we're entering the golden age of Blender. We're no longer waiting for Blender to catch up to the competition. We are already there and now are just getting new features that go beyond the industry standard package. Don't get me wrong, there's still work to be done in some areas, but for the most part, Blender is there for hobbyists, artists, and pros. And one more thing that adds to this feeling is the change in management. The OG creator and current CEO of Blender, Tom Rosendahl, that brought Blender to what it is now, will step down on January 1st, 2026, and pass the role to Francesca Citti, who was working at Blender for over a decade and in the COO position for the last 5 years, which I think makes him a great fit for the role. I think that things are only going to get better from here, because again, Blender is mature enough and the future CEO knows what he's doing. So I'm confident that we will get even more awesome updates coming to Blender. But that's all for today. If you like the video, like, subscribe. But for now, bye bye.